Hello and welcome to Algebra Unit 1-2, Lesson 2. Today's objective is scholars will graph linear functions. So we were writing them, now we are graphing these linear functions. So let's talk about how we graph linear functions. So first thing we need to do is identify our m and our b. In this case, m is negative 5 over 3. Our b is 3. Okay, that's the very first thing. We're going to identify our slope and our y-intercept. Next, we are going to use our y-intercept as our starting point. So I'm going to start on my y-axis at the point 3, so I can put a dot there. And this is a Kami assignment, so you guys can go ahead and follow along with me on your Kami, and you can put the dot there as well. My slope, remember we talked about slope being defined as your rise over your run. And this is negative, so one of these two is negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count down 5 and then over 3. So down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I went down instead of up, so that was a negative rise. So my run is going to be positive because my answer needs to be negative, so only one of them can be negative. So then I go over 1, 2, 3. So this is where I'm putting my second point at 3, negative 2. I put that point, and then I'm just going to connect my 2 points with a line. And that's all there is to it. Okay, make sure I put my arrows on either end. And it's that simple. There's my graph of the function. Notice my slope was negative, and my graph from left to right is going down. I can double check that, and my y-intercept was a positive number. Okay, so let's try another couple of these, and then you're going to finish this off on your own. So, here, my slope is 4. My y-intercept is 3. So first thing I need to do is put a dot at my y-intercept. My y-intercept is 3, so I put a dot at 3 on the y-axis. My slope is 4, but I'm used to seeing slope as a fraction, so I'm going to rewrite that as a fraction. 4 is the same thing as 4 over 1. So my rise is 4. My run is 1. But I can't go up 4 from where I'm at. So I'm going to have to go down 4. So remember that this is a positive, but we can get positive by having a negative divided by a negative. So you always have that option. When your slope is negative, one of the two has to be negative. If your slope is positive, they can both be positive or both be negative. So I'm going to rise negative 4, so that means going down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to run negative 1, which means going left 1. So there's my point. And you can see if I connect those, I'm going to have a positive slope. So I'm going to connect those with a quick line. And again, put my arrows on either end of it. Not too hard. I'm going to skip this one and go to one that looks a little bit different. Let's look at this one. I'm on slide 9. So you'll notice here, I don't see anything multiplying with my x. So I know that my y-intercept is 1. But what is my slope? Remember that there is always a 1 in front of the x that we don't write. We don't write 1x, we just write x. So in this case, I have negative x, so the slope is negative 1. Okay, so remember, if there is nothing in front of your x, there is a 1 there. We just don't bother writing it. Okay, so again, I'm going to rewrite my slope as a fraction. It's going to be negative 1 over 1. My y-intercept here is a positive 1. So I'm going to start off by putting a dot at 1 on my y-axis. And then my slope says I go down 1, right 1, so it'll be right there. And then I can just draw my line. It's that easy. Okay, so look at some other different ones. Oh, let's look at this one. Y equals 1. There's no x here. So if this was written as y equals mx plus b, that negative 1 is our b. So I'll put that there. But what's there multiplied with my x? I don't even see an x. That's because this has a slope of 0. Remember that a slope of 0 is a horizontal line? If you remember the video we watched on our introduction to functions, it doesn't matter what x is, y is always going to be negative 1. So we're going to start at negative 1 in our graph. And a slope of 0 is a horizontal line, so I'm just going to draw my line, my wonderful horizontal line, and that is that graph. The rest of these look like they are things. Okay, this one I left off the y equals, but you got it. Okay? So you're going to go through and finish graphing all of these as your classwork. And if you have any questions, you can ask in class.